Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome, race fans, to the Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California. This is the NMNTS Racing Series brought to you by Pit Stop TV. Brendan, this race carries a lot of meaning. This broadcast is going to be made a little bit special. Robbie Buckner, you can see on his car, has a new paint scheme tonight that we haven't seen before, and you can see the title of this race is the World Down Syndrome Day 200. The actual World Down Syndrome Day is March 21st. It is March 19th, so a couple of days early, but it raises the awareness.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, great way to hit it off here with the Monday night, the most popular series here, to really put a lot of mention out there. Obviously Tuesday would be a little bit closer, but you know, the premier race, this is definitely where you'd want to do it.
Definitely. This is, I think, the series that gets the most attention and will get the most, I guess, just eyes on it. So I think this is a good way for them to get some awareness to the cause. And as you can see, the NMNTS Sim Spec Championship Series field doing a 3-wide salute here at Auto Club Speedway in honor of those that, you know, are born with the condition. And, you know, they don't get a choice, and they get looked down upon for whatever reason. It's not right, and so they're just, I think it's a good way just to raise awareness to the situation and get people thinking about it, and hopefully change a couple of minds. Again, Robbie Buckner, kind of the main proprietor behind setting this up, and he sent me a little piece to read off once we got this going on, so I'll read that now. March 21st is the day that the General Assembly decided to designate for World Down Syndrome Day. The significance of March 21st is that Down syndrome, known as trisomy 21, is where individuals have the third chromosome added to the 21st pair, hence 321. On this day, people are asked to wear yellow and blue and or super cool mismatched socks. Mismatched socks, this is the sign of the genius. Albert Einstein was rumored to wear mismatched socks, so if the rumors are true, and if that's and if what is true for Albert Einstein makes it true for everybody who shares any of his traits, then that means that a person who wears mismatched socks is a genius. Blue and yellow are nationally recognized colors for Down syndrome awareness. And again, you can see the entire field here at Auto Club. Whether they make it into the race or not, the focus is solely on awareness for the situation. World Down Syndrome Day. I think it's a really great cause. And so we'll stay with the number 90 car of Robbie Buckner. You'll see a lot of trucks out here tonight. We'll have decals or special paint schemes even in honor of tonight, kind of bringing awareness to the situation. And yeah, I think it's a really cool deal. The NMNTS always comes together in support of a lot of different things, and this is just another example of that. Well, it looks like we're having some issues. We're going to get that fixed as soon as we can. So we are going to have to take a commercial break now that the 3-wide salute is over here from Auto Club Speedway. So we'll be right back. Stick with Pit Stop TV. This is Pit Stop TV bringing to you the NMNTS Racing Series.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
On January 1st of this year, we made a major announcement when we added Porsche as our newest partner. The first car we added to the sim was the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, and at the same time we announced that we would be adding several more Porsches in the future. For the next Porsche, we wanted something special, something unique, something that hasn't been seen in a racing sim before, and something definitively Porsche. Today, that Porsche is here. So here we are in northern New Hampshire where we found the perfect diesel Porsche. It's a model P133 and we're super excited to be able to scan it today. That should take us about 8 hours or so. After that, we'll do photo reference and sound recording. Then we're back to the office to build this sucker. When we're done with this project, we'll have the most authentic tractor ever built. Take that, farming simulator. It'll take some time and a lot of company resources, but we can definitely say this Porsche will be ready to launch sometime in the future.
Welcome back, race fans. Apologies for being away for so long, but that did give us a chance to kind of watch a small bit of qualifying, at least if you were Brandon Elshoff. I didn't get to watch any of it, so I don't really know exactly how things went. What I do know, though, is as you can see at the top left of your screen, Christopher Matthews is your pole sitter tonight. Brendan, whenever you're ready, can you move him in?
Hey there, Christopher Matthews. Brendan up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy with us?
I got a copy with you guys.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna start from the poll tonight. Overall, how do you feel about Auto Club tonight?
I feel good. I'm glad I got the poll, but as you can see with the times, the top 20 were, they're within, a little bit of time, just fast enough to be poll right now. So it's gonna be a tough race, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You hit on a really good point about the top 20 or so being really within just over 0.2 of a second combined there. So overall, probably a really competitive field tonight. Anything to look out for with you start from the poll? Any bit of drafting, anything like that you want to work with, or?
I'll try to work with my teammates as much as I can, but I think it's really gonna come down to who can use the high line a little bit better and get a little bit better runoff off the corners. You're going to see a lot of drafting here, a lot of 5 wide, 4 wide, 3 wide, going into the turns, and hopefully we don't have too many cautions, but that's just going to cite more crazy restarts. So hopefully we can keep it clean.
Yeah, definitely. Any worries starting on the inside instead of the outside with the first start being on the green flag there, or you think you'll get settled in pretty quickly?
I like to. I haven't really thought about that one too much, but I think once we get through the first 2 turns, you're going to see people file in pretty single file. Hopefully, it doesn't get too crazy, but that's when you start seeing the draft, and hopefully, we can just keep it out in front. I'm really, really worried about the couple guys behind me, though. I know that they're fast, and I know that they're aggressive, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Well, give you opportunity here. You want to shout out any sponsors, anybody helps put the show on for you?
I'd like to thank you guys for just putting it on. First off, league owners, the admins and stuff like that. But I got the Mission 22, number 92 Chevy on the hood today, putting awareness to our disabled, or not disabled vets, but our vets at risk. So I'd like to give a shout out to those guys.
Definitely, it's a great cause to support. Well, I think we'll get you go ahead and move back down. Congrats again on the poll tonight, and hopefully we'll see some more from you tonight, maybe in Victory Lane.
Oh, hopefully. I hope to be back with you guys at the end of the race. You guys have a good one.
Yep, you too.
And that one was our pole sitter, Christopher Matthews. The first guy we get to talk tonight. We get to talk to 2 more drivers on the track, Brendan. The first of those is going to be Robbie Buckner, so I'll have to message him first. But he does have a bit of a small little speech to give us, a presentation of sorts, and Robbie is here. So, Robbie, I'll just let you have the mic.
Hey, bud. I think, first of all, thank you guys for what all you guys do, man. But tonight it's all about my good friend Mary and her wonderful daughter KK. KK is a very special little girl, man. She's been through so much, and I just want to do something special for her. And I approached Brad and NMNTS and asked them if we could do something for her, and they were nice enough to let me get a truck, and they don't pretty much let this whole race be about Down syndromes and all. And, March 21st, make sure you wear your mismatched colored socks or blue and yellow socks. Means a lot. These little kids, man, and adults that have this, they're just like me and you. There's no difference. If you give them a chance, they're the sweetest people you ever meet in your life. KK is one of the sweetest little girls I've ever known. She's sweet as she can be. I got her riding shotgun with me tonight, so we're going to give her one heck of a run if we can. So it's awesome tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly a great cause. When we watched you guys do your 3 wide salute, thankfully just before my iRacing decided to go on a fritz, and we flashed up the couple of pictures I found on Google, like the one that's on the screen now, and I gave a little bit of a spiel that you messaged me earlier in the week, and you know, I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not familiar enough with the situation to really put it in perspective, but I think you're doing a pretty good job of it. I think, you know, being on the initiative of making this night happen with the NMNTS, obviously Bradley and Ken and them are more than willing to, you know, observe, if you will, any, I guess, causes like this. You know, it's, later in the year we'll have a suicide prevention race, and that's always a cool deal to have, and I think this is just another one to add to that.
Yeah, yeah, it is, man. This league really does a lot of stuff for a lot of different situations, and you know, we try and bring awareness to a lot of stuff. There's not a whole lot, you know, most of us can do. You know, a lot of us aren't rich. We don't have all the money that a lot of people out there do that, you know, do stuff like this. But if we can raise some awareness, make some people aware, you know, using our platform that we have, maybe, you know, get some people to donate to a good cause or participate in a buddy walk for Downs, you know, it'll be all worth it in the end.
I agree 100%. And again, it's just a really cool thing that you were able to get this going for the league race, and I really liked seeing everybody go around in the three wide salute that we do quite often actually throughout the year. It's just always a good thing to do before a race, and especially when it's got this kind of significance. And again, guys, World Down Syndrome Day is March 21st. That is Wednesday this week. But you know, this is the big race of the week, so we're observing it today. We're just getting it out there, and Robbie, great job on getting this to happen.
Hey, thank you guys. You know, can't do this without, you know, the NMTS series and Bradley and BA Graphics. You know, I got an awesome sponsor in those guys. You know, they put together a paint scheme for me. I really appreciate it. And, you know, we're going to go give it a ride tonight for KK. But on Wednesday, make sure you wear blue and yellow or some mismatched socks and tag it up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and let the people out there know that you care.
Sounds good, Robbie. Again, thank you for kind of giving us your perspective on things. I think now we're going to get your teammate Bradley Wilson here in a moment. We'll let you go get ready to strap into your number 90 truck.
All right, brother. Y'all be good.
Sounds good. Have a good race. And next up, we're going to get Bradley Wilson in for a quick spiel. Bradley Wilson, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Brad, we just talked to Robbie Buckner, your teammate and driver. Got his perspective on the exact thing that we're kind of focused on tonight. Not necessarily just the race, but also World Down Syndrome Day. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, World Down Syndrome Day is going to be March 21st. It's the day set aside to recognize, you know, Down syndrome and the effect it has. It is something that, you know, is near and dear to my heart. You know, it affects a lot of people, and you see it all the time. So we here at the NMNTS just thought that we would honor that day and bring awareness ourselves as we could to our little piece of it in the sim racing community.
Sounds good. I think everybody here at the NMNTS is doing a pretty good job of getting the awareness out, given this race that we have tonight, and kind of focusing on it for it. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I can't thank everybody enough. From the three wide salute, and you know, we do our part, and you know, there's a lot that can be done, and you know, it's a cause that, you know, it's a cause that you can almost find a way to chip in. You know, there's numerous ways. So, like I said, this was just our way. You know, I want to especially give a shout out to everybody that this affects. And I've been told that we've got a little girl out there named KK, so this one's for you.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate the bit of perspective there, just as Robbie gave us. Do want to make sure you guys can get into your trucks, so we'll let you go getting that number 51 tonight.
I sure appreciate it, guys. Looks like it's going to be a heck of a race tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It should be very even, just as we talked to Christopher Matthews about. So, best of luck to you. Looks like you're starting 5th.
Yes, sir. I'm going to start 5th, so we'll see what we can do with it. I hope to talk to you guys throughout the night.
Sounds good. Best of luck.
Thanks, sir.
And that was Bradley Wilson. And Robbie and Bradley have been in very close ties, more recently than ever, really, and they always were. But you know, in trying to organize really good things for the NMNTS, you know, you can throw obviously Ken Yance and John Barron into that mix as well. So it's really cool to get a little bit of help on exactly, you know, what we're seeing out here tonight. And I think that should conclude our pre-race as we get ready to roll off the grid. Brendan, can you roll us through our top 10?
Ready? On the pole, we talked with him earlier, is Christopher Matthews. His outside tonight's going to be Ryan Broderick, or Mark Broderick, excuse me. Row number 2 will start with Kelsey Rogers on the inside in 3rd. His outside's going to be PJ Popham in 4th. Row number 3 will be Bradley Wilson on the inside in 5th. And 6th will be Anthony Colon Tuono. Excuse me if I'm getting that one wrong. Row number 4 will be Joe Pritchett to the inside in 7th. And to his outside, Jeffrey Ford in 8th. And row number 5, Spence Thompson on the inside, 9th. And Trevor Harmon to his outside in 10th.
And in 11th starting spot will be Brady Briggs, a newcomer to the series. Good to see him out here. He is a developmental driver for BA Graphics. To his outside will be Zachary Kreiser, one of the Jaeger Racing drivers. Starting in the 13th position will be Jared Mogard on the inside of row number 7. Robbie Buckner to his outside. In row number 8, we'll have David Levine in the number 59, starting 15th, and Clayton Kurtz starting 16th in the number 16 to his outside. A couple of Illinois drivers right there. Moving on to row number 9, we get to Brandon Parsons, a new driver to this series, but he made his debut in the NMNTS last week at ISM Raceway in the BA Graphics Cup Series. To his outside will be John Kennedy. And finally, rounding out your top 20, we'll have Joseph Andujar and Aiden Young.
All right, and picking up 21st tonight will be Matthew Wilsenbach. 22nd will be David Heiza. 23rd, we have Gordon Larson Jr. 24th going to Blake Falone. 25th tonight will be Sawyer Ott. And 26th, we have Ronald White. 27th will go to Blaine Falone. And 28th, we have Terry Mason. 29th tonight going to be Zach Lindgren. And 30th will be Derek Robinson.
And the last 2 cars in the field will be the number 96 of Jared Wishon and the number 43 of Craig Lerman. They just make the show. I think they both actually were trying to go to the rear for the start of the race, given the qualifying times they put down. So I think they just wanted to start in the rear and go with it from there. And as always, got to thank our race officials, Ken Yance, John Barron, up in the tower, going to call these different events out on the track so that we can make sure the racing is as good as possible. And as these guys get ready to roll, Brennan, should be a great race.
I definitely think so. Should be, you know, a lot of really good action. It's not quite straight up super speedway where you can just bump draft with each other, so a little bit of lifting here and there maybe to put in there as well. So should lead to some really good tight racing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to this 100-lap event here from Auto Club Speedway in Southern California. Hopefully everyone at home is as well as we get the action going here from Auto Club. You will notice some trucks will go white here in a moment, sorry. That's just their paint schemes updating, but coming out of turn 4, we're waiting on the green flag from iRacing. Christopher Matthews on the pole. Green flag is out on the Speedway, and the number 92 going to lead us past the start-finish line for the first time all night long. Into turn number 1, Kelsey Rogers looking at the bottom side, can't find any daylight. Everyone behind them going to fall into their lines. Bradley Wilson loose on the bottom side. I think he's going to hang on to that truck, and he will, but he's going to lose a ton of positions. What a big issue that could have been, Brennan.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I can't really see anything right now. Unfortunately, my iRacing's acting up again.
Well, he got right down. He got the left sides on the apron pretty much, almost like he would at Phoenix in turn 3 and 4. Oh, and Blaine Falone's going to go around to the back. He's going to hang on to it. Somehow saves that truck. Back up to the front of the field. Mark Broderick is your leader. Christopher Matthews actually is your leader. Mark Broderick came across the line in second. Sorry, the 92 having a bit of connection issues there, but he's back and solid. Kelsey Rogers on the bottom side. Once his paint scheme loads, he's got a paint scheme commemorating tonight and World Down Syndrome Day, so he's moving up into the top 2 now, racing with Mark Broderick for that second position. He's a newcomer to the series in general. PJ Popham joining that battle, and here comes Anthony Coloantono. I'm sorry, I know I messed his name up. Oh, Broderick in the fence. Everyone's going to flinch to that move from the 32 as the 32 falls way back in the field. Going to lose all kinds of positions. Oh, David Levine almost makes contact with the 49. Sorry, that's the 39 of Kreiser. And Mark Broderick continuing to lose positions. Now here comes Bradley Wilson, who got loose in turn 1. He's going to pass Broderick, actually, so you see just the detriment that the 32 is feeling here, as it looks like Christopher Matthews is still our leader. Having some connection issues. The 61 is second place, so if something happens to the 92, the 61 of Kelsey Rogers will assume that lead. As PJ Popham continues to roll around this 2-mile super speedway in the 3rd position. Spence Thompson, the 2016 champion of this series, has now moved into the top 5. That Sovaga Chevrolet looking pretty quick, just ahead of Joe Perchette.
I went ahead and took the opportunity to try and relog here, so I'm on my way back. But just
sounds good. While Brennan gets that worked out, I will shout out a driver who was just doing a great job right now in the number 18. It's a developmental truck for WFO Motorsports. I know it's only lap 5 of 100 now, but Brady Briggs running a pretty good race so far in that number 18 BA Graphics Discount Shop Towels truck. Looking pretty darn stout in the 7th position right now, and he's actually got a couple of allied trucks coming his way in Trevor Harmon and David Levine. Speaking of David Levine, he has moved into the 11th position right behind last week's winner, Jared Mogard. He's actually battling with Zachary Kreiser. Jeffrey Ford, one of the trucks that we didn't see last week at Phoenix, actually in the field tonight, I think making his first start of the season in the number 5. Good to see him on the speedway. Trevor Harmon, a local to the southwest of America. He is currently running in the 8th position in the number 27 truck, looking pretty stout as well. Kelsey Rogers, going in the backwards direction, has lost a few positions, now into the 4th spot. Goes to number 61. So is 61 going in the wrong direction right now, not really moving forward like he'd like, but he had moved pretty much as forward as he could. He was into the 2nd position, started to lose some grip and speed at the same time, falling back. Now here comes Joe Perchette trying to fight around Spence Thompson. That would be for the 5th spot. So to get into the top 5, the 83 looking to get by a defending champion. That's never going to be easy, but he's going to cross him over out of turn 2, look for daylight underneath. And Joe Perchette going to draw even with him down the back straightaway. Spence Thompson still trying to fight back on the top side. Ends up falling well behind the 83 coming out of turn 4. But PJ Popham makes a move for the lead. PJ Popham now into the 1st position. Number 1 in P1.
Right behind him, Christopher Matthews and Anthony Coloantono. I'm going to be side by side there. That's actually, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I don't know what was going on there. Yep, still side by side, heading down the back stretch. Kelsey Rogers right there with him, right behind.
The 92 and the 98, a couple of drivers that we haven't even seen hit the track in the Truck Series yet this season, battling for a couple of top spots here at Auto Club. Caution out in the back. And I think this one's going to be Gordon Larson Jr. spun around in the back of the field. The 00 not looking that great so far.
818 pulling it down pit road with a smoking engine as well.
We will, of course, get a replay provided by IRTVO.
Yeah, that'll be the same incident there. The double O.
Actually, I'm not sure we even can get a replay on it. That's... Let me do one thing. There might be an issue on my end. I'm just going to make sure this... Alright, so it wasn't on my end. But definitely an issue. I can't actually bring that replay up. That's really unfortunate, but a bunch of the cars in the back are completely grayed out, and I can't go back and view them at all, which is bizarre.
Derek Robertson, I think, is going to call it a night. Unfortunately for him, a lot of engine damage there. Gordon Larson with a lot of damage as well. Looks like the 75 Terry Mason may have been involved as well in that one. Yeah, he's got some front end damage. A lot of people pulling it down pit lane though.
Well, I'm going to continue trying to get a replay on your screen. No guarantees here. iRacing is being a bit picky. Looks like I won't be able to get one. I really do apologize for that, guys. But hopefully it gets straightened out by the time we have another caution. Coming down the pit lane, Gordon Larson Jr. actually getting into his pit stall. Not sure if that's for the first time or the second time, but you'll see the race out of pit road here. Christopher Matthews going to fall into second place. PJ Popham wins the way out. Colantuono going to end up, I think, in fourth. Joe Prachette fifth. Kelsey Rogers in sixth. Brady Briggs going to hang on to seventh. Jared Mogard into eighth. Bradley P. Wilson with, I think, a two-tire stop possibly into ninth. And Trevor Harmon into 10th.
Oh, we've completed a 10th way through there. Good little run there. Hopefully, more green flag action before we come to that first stage break at lap 40. Like David Levine may have stayed out here. He's scored right now as the leader. Work on grabbing that bonus point here for leading a lap.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can confirm we're not going to get a replay on that caution. This will be the first caution of the night, and as Brendan mentioned, there will be two more that we can expect on through the night, and those will be at laps 40 and 80, or the completion thereof for the stage breaks here from Auto Club Speedway. And Brendan, I think this is as good a time as ever to talk about the weather here in Fontana, California, just a little bit. We've got a 70-degree track temp. Pretty cool for Southern California.
Yeah, still kind of spring weather, a little bit warming up a little bit. Bradley mentioned it though. He chose some conditions to help promote some close, really tight back racing. So the cooler weather, grippier track, I think that's really gonna help promote that.
And of course, if you don't know what Brendan means by that, essentially, you know, being the fact that this is virtual, this is on a simulator. Sorry, this is on iRacing.com. The race host can adjust all of the weather settings as well as the track state settings. And so Bradley, you know, just trying to work with the drivers a little bit, try and get the best racing possible on the racetrack week in, week out. Did change some of the settings to try and meet what he thought would be, or found in his little bit of research would be the best racing possible. So he went ahead and set it up as such, and that gave us our conditions for this race tonight. David Levine, your leader, and we're coming to the restart. If you're just joining us, this race is trying to raise awareness regarding the World Down Syndrome Day, which is coming up on March 21st, just a couple of days away. This Wednesday, actually, as this race is live on March 19th, 2018. So As was mentioned before, this race got green by Robbie Buckner. If you'd like to try and help support this this day and the situation in general, if you can't send monetary support, that's fine. You can just wear mismatched socks that day or wear blue and yellow, and it really just it's a good thing to try and support. Actually, you can notice also in the bottom left, we have a blue and yellow ribbon to help raise awareness. That will stay on the screen all race long. And as we come out of turn number 4, David Levine, past NASCAR driver, in control of the field, and he gets to go on his call. There he goes out of turn 4, getting this race restarted. He's going to get the jump on everyone behind him, but almost like a restrictor plate racetrack, Brennan, you have to wonder if maybe getting out too far to an advantage will hurt him. I also have to wonder if the one maybe changed lanes before the line.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm listening here to see if there's anything's made. David is on old tires, though, too, so I think any gap he can get is going to try and help him here hold the lead. Hopefully shoot for maybe a short caution here. I think really he was just there, as I mentioned earlier, just to get the extra bonus point for leading a lap, but let's see how long he can hold on to it.
Well, I think the tires should hang on. Never mind. I'll eat my words. I was going to say they might hang on for a couple of laps, and then he'll get eaten up. But you can see right there, he's going to get eaten up right away by these guys behind him. Christopher Matthews trying to work on by him. PJ Popham on his inside into turns 1 and 2 here, and kind of moving him up the track a little bit too.
And this is a kind of risky move here for everybody else. Race control did just come through. Drive-through penalty for the 1 for a lane change.
So we'll try and actually go back and get the exact moment that happened on the number 1. We'll go back to that frame, and you can watch the number 1 car going to make that lane change before the start-finish line. That is the violation of NMNTS series rules, and that will result in a pass-through penalty on the number 1 car of PJ Popham.
59 is going to fall all the way back down to 7th after just a lap. Battling with Kelsey Rogers right now. I'll work his way on by him. Trevor Harmon right behind him now.
Well, let's focus on the number 1 for just a moment until he comes in to get the penalty, because sometimes these drivers want to try and protest their case to the admins for just a moment, to the officials, and see if they can get it reversed. I don't think it's going to happen this time for PJ, but we'll see what he does. He's going to bring it into the pits here.
Everybody moving up. Actually, some in the wall for the 92. Christopher Matthews there. It's going to slow him way down. Jordan Field's going to work his way past.
Our pole sitter, Christopher Matthews, going backwards in the wrong direction after tagging the wall out of turn 4, but he's going to get it gathered up. And granted, he just lost some 14, 13 positions in a matter of a straightaway. I think he's doing all right, considering every time one little thing happens at one of these speedways, it could have been far, far bigger.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of risky though, a penalty served for the 1 there, and then everybody has to kind of stay out of his way because he's gonna have to slow down to make it down pit lane without getting an additional penalty for speeding. So everybody just trying to do their best to work their way around him there. Unfortunately, Christopher a little bit too high and got on the wall.
Now, as everybody gets settled into the restart, Joe Purchett is your leader. Kalantu Ono in 2nd place in the number 98. He's a newcomer to the series. Jared Mogard, last week's winner, in 3rd. And Brady Briggs in 4th place. Not to mention Kelsey Rogers in 6th. Trevor Harmon in 7th. What a... Sorry, those guys are 5th and 6th. Sorry, yeah. I realized that as soon as I said something. But what a race so far for these 6 to be up here. I know Burchett's a good driver, renowned driver in the iRacing scene, but we haven't seen him in the front a lot this season. We haven't seen him be able to get one of these big breaks like this and just get out front and lead some laps. What a break so far for these 6 to be up front.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of a conversation I had with a couple guys over the week. Obviously, I think you guys can tell some people are missing. They decided to move onward, but other than that, if you know who they are, you know who they are. I won't bring anything up about that, but it really opens up a great opportunity for a lot of other guys to, you know, really put their names out there now. And I think we're seeing that tonight so far with a lot of, you know, kind of newcomers up in the top 10.
What was even happening before? I mean, we saw, of course, Jared Mogard win last week, and I think that was a great momentum builder for that team as he's now in the top 3. So Jared Mogard, I think, was moving in the right direction to begin with. I think he just had to make a race to be able to get everything started and be able to start, you know, knowing what he had to practice for the race and knowing what he had to practice for qualifying, just be able to get there, get that start under his belt. And in that one start he has so far this season, coming into tonight's 100-lap race, he has 1 win.
It definitely. You know, it's really tough this year if you don't have a charter to make the shows when we have, you know, full crew. Tonight, people not going to be able to make it due to work and other situations like that, but luckily he gets to race his way in here, and he's putting on another great show. He just, as he mentioned in prior interviews, he just, you know, needs to work on his qualifying a little bit more. It's just really, really tight field.
Yeah, and, you know, Aiden Young didn't make a start until last week at Phoenix either, and that was really bizarre to me considering he had some wins last season. Unfortunately, none of them carried on Pit Stop TV, but Aiden's really a good driver when you get him into a good head and just turn him loose on a racetrack. But it was really bizarre to not see him make a single start until last week at Phoenix in this series. He just hadn't made the cut in any of the qualifying sessions and unfortunately just couldn't race. As now we actually have a pass for the lead, or at least a battle for the lead. Anthony Colantuono, sorry if I'm messing that up, I probably will for probably at least 6 months. And of course by Homestead I'll get it down, but Colantuono, I think, maybe Colantuono, moving into second place, or he's been in third place, and I was battling with Jared Mogard. He got up alongside of Joe PORSCHE, was trying to make a pass for the lead, and you see that the effect that it has on a truck to move out into the open air, into the clean air, and not really be able to go anywhere with it.
Well, to the contrary there, Jared Mogard just stuck it right beside him, and he's got him cleared really, really easily there coming into turn 1.
Well, yeah, you can generally make a like a slide job or two, maybe use a little bit of the draft. Jared Mogard in that case didn't, but immediately gets crossed back over. It's so hard to pass here and hang on to that position. I think that's the big thing because you're right. I mean, Mogard went down there and just totally went against everything I was trying to say, but then you have to worry about the crossover that we see from Anthony coming down to the bottom side and trying to get that spot back.
So he's going to settle in third now. Jared Mogard's starting to pull away a little bit from him. Mogard getting a little tight, maybe coming off the corner. Give the 98 a good chance here to be within striking distance for turn 3.
And we'll, of course, follow any battle that you would like on the racetrack. So I see Scott Andreas out there, William Nitram, and some others. If you want us to focus on a battle around the racetrack, just let us know. We'll try and at least focus on a driver or two as we can. But right now, a lot of the action is starting to actually pick up around 6th position or so. Kelsey Rogers, Brady Briggs, Trevor Harmon, now Bradley Wilson getting into the picture. And this could even bring Aiden Young. I was just talking about him. It could bring 8th place Aiden Young into the picture as well.
A little bit further back, it looks like around 15th or so, there's about a 4-car battle, or a 4-truck battle there. Almost counted 5 now. Kind of floating around there, and they're racing pretty tight.
Yeah, Christopher Matthews ending up in this battle, actually, with Blake Falone, Robbie Buckner, and even Jared Wishon. Jared Wishon fired so strongly out of the gate. I think this almost is kind of to be expected right now. He's sub-top 15, almost outside the top 20 right now, just not having a good start to his night. Almost considered him one of the championship contenders for a little bit, for a couple of races there, and now just having an off night to start off at Auto Club.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did like to start all the way towards the back of the field here. He took the grid in 31st tonight, so he's worked his way up to 19th so far. I think maybe he's just slowly picking them off here.
And, you know, that's a fair point. I did forget about that. Oh, actually, he almost just got cleaned out. A bit of a large reactionary move from Christopher Matthews, a bit exaggerated out of turn 4, and that could have been really disastrous. A little bit of a bobble from Blake Falone led to a big flinch from Christopher Matthews that almost led to a huge wreck out of turn 4. Really could have done some damage.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna keep it all squared away though. Luckily here, Christopher Matthews, you know, not really having the night go his way so far. Battling all the way back here after that little bit of contact. He seems like he's not too far off the pace. Does have some damage there. I don't know how much, you know, a little bit of right rear will affect the truck too much around here, but hopefully we can see him start to bounce back maybe.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if that number 92 starts making any ground. A little further behind him, though, a newcomer to the series, Brandon Parsons, having a pretty solid run so far in that number 26. Prodigy Racing Association Toyota Tundra, doing pretty decent, at least considering every other piece of that car is blank aside from the number and the hood.
Yeah.
And that's actually where we'll find Mark Broderick, one of the favorites, and coming into this race really has one of the biggest heads of steam, currently running in the 21st position. We saw him go backwards after contact with the wall early on and just has not been able to recover since.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Chris Matthews is right there with them. Just a truck ahead of him is actually, they're going to make a move now on Brandon Parsons. Almost going to split him 3 wide here. It is 3 wide now going into turn 3.
Mark Broderick being a bit aggressive, already, on the number 26 and the number 92. Actually going to go right on by these two trucks, though. So definitely that 32 has a head of steam, just is mired in the back, mired back in traffic, and you know, slowly making that ground up. Can't just do it all at once. You see the 26 right on his bumper. Maybe have to wonder if he didn't appreciate that move.
Yeah. When it comes to, you know, tracks where there's the ability to split it 3 wide, I think Auto Club is probably one of the best out there. There's plenty of racing room, you know, through the corners, whereas a lot of the tracks we recently have been to are fairly tight, and everyone's fairly tight going around there as well, or it's usually limited to one line. So opportunities to make a move like that, I think he kind of put himself in the right spot at the right time there, but it's kind of have to be careful as he's working his way through the field doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I called a race for LSR TV a couple of days, or actually no, yesterday. It feels like a couple of days ago. But totally different cars, totally different track. Won't go into that. But basically, the fastest cars of the race elected to come in at a bit of an odd time and make their pit stops, and then had to battle back through just swaths of traffic and had to go through a 20-car field. And they might have been a second faster than some of those cars, but especially when you're that much faster and you're trying to work by these guys, and you know you have it in your mind to get to the front, it really creates some problems because everybody's stacked up, especially on these chaotic restarts at a place like Auto Club, and the wrecks just seem to happen more and more often when you have guys mired in the back that are really fast.
Yeah. Definitely. We keep the camera here on Broderick. He's actually battling with David Levine now. David Levine from first at the restart all the way down to 17th now. And Blake Falone there as well. Almost a little bit of contact between the two of them. A little tight down there for
Mark.
A
wreck up ahead. That's the 27. Trevor Harmon around.
Get her spun around. No caution there. Tough break for him.
Get one. Yeah. Wow.
I guess he's just underneath the white line there. So RC did not deem the need for a caution there.
I'm trying to find the moment where that happened. Doesn't look like we will. That's interesting. Yeah.
He just got loose. Yeah.
Let's pull up the replay graphic one more time.
Loose coming off of turn 2 there.
So we're going all the way back to see what happened with the 27 car. Aiden Young had caught him. And so you have to wonder if maybe the 27 got it in his mind to start pushing a little bit harder, make sure Aiden Young didn't pass him.
The 32 around. And the 90 in the wall, and the 26. Big caution.
As we watch the wrap of what happened to Trevor Harmon first.
I hate to see the 90 involved in a wreck, especially tonight.
So we'll see what happens here, and you know, Mark Broderick just got loose.
It looked like a bit of netcode, unfortunately, with Robbie there. He didn't quite make contact with him, and I think it registered that he did and sent him up into the wall there, which kind of cascaded some other things there.
You'll see in this replay, I'm going to focus on the 32 car of Mark Broderick. Essentially, he's just going to get 3 out of 4. I mean, old tires trying to fight through the field, that's going to happen. Actually, no, I think it happens because he went on the apron. Yeah, it happens because he went down, dipped on the apron, trying to be a bit aggressive, gain ground on Levine, and just trying to avoid it. Robbie Buckner gets into the fence, ends up collecting the 26 of Brandon Parsons. Looks like the 92 possibly as well.
And the big one, unfortunately, as I mentioned, the 90 of Robbie Buckner. They're obviously, you know, this race means a lot for him, and we're just before stage 1 break, and he's already got a lot of damage, unfortunately.
We're going to go way back and try and get the onboard of what happens to the number 90 car. I know he's got a couple of special viewers out in the chat, Marianne Hester, most namely. So you'll see what happens here with the number 90, and things are a bit off sync, but you'll kind of get an idea of at least what happens here. I'm going to try and fix the sync issue here in a moment, but you can see just, unfortunately, Robbie Buckner going to end up with a lot of damage here tonight. But you know what? What I do see is he only pretty much hit the wall with the right side of the truck and didn't really hit much of anything else after that, so he might be somewhat okay. We are having a couple of connection issues. We might have to relog here. I would hate to do that coming to the stage break, but you know, we've got to do what's necessary to keep the stream alive. So we'll give it its chance. We're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to try and be right back.
the final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerritt at the line.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys
Well, sort of. Welcome back, race fans. We're still having connection issues. You can see that on your screen. The volume's down so low it shouldn't really affect volume, but we did just have a wreck at the end of stage number 1. It involved the 83 of Joe PORSCHE and some others. Brendan, can you give us a rundown of who was involved?
The 83 of Joe PORSCHE, the 98 of Anthony Colantano, is where that actually started a little bit of contact. Kind of hooked him a little bit, sent him up into the high wall, got him spun around there. Try and catch. There's a couple guys after Joe got stopped that ended up hitting him here as well. I'm going to try and catch those numbers here.
Unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to provide that replay on Pit Stop TV. We're having issues, and I've checked everything from my end of the deal. It's not on my end. This is something with iRacing. If it happens again in this race, I apologize, but we're going to have to abandon the stream for the night. We'll try and cover it as much as possible, if that should happen, on the Pit Stop TV page on Facebook, so you can follow everything afterwards from there. If we do, for some reason, have to close the stream down, we will do our best to get live updates on the page. But hopefully that doesn't happen. We're still watching the race here, and we're going to give you the rundown, hopefully, of the stage results. I'm hoping this is correct, Brennan. Are we going to have the 98 through the 95?
I believe so. I don't 100% know if the 98 actually beat him across 61 to the line.
This would currently be your top 10. Hopefully it holds. It's Colantano, Rogers, yeah. Briggs, Young, Wilson, Kreiser, Popham, Mogard, Levine, and Ford. Again, we're not sure. At least I'm not sure if that's your official top 10 for the stage. I don't know what else to do aside from relog. So we're going to do that real quick. And you can see some of the rest of the field here. Just issues from iRacing servers.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Once again, photo finish here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerritt at the line.
Welcome back, race fans. Finally, after all that waiting, we're back. It's been something like 10 laps. Almost the whole run went on, so we're a little disappointed with the way iRacing has been performing lately, but, you know, what are you going to do about it? I will say, we just had a caution come out. This time, it looked like we may have had the 96 involved, and Brendan, for some reason, the yellow flag is not updating on IRTVO. I'm going to reload that, possibly, if it doesn't work. But, walk us through what just happened.
The 83 Joe PORSCHE, obviously we mentioned he's in that prior caution, he was involved there, right coming towards the stage. He kind of just, the motor finally blew up. He was stuck on the high side trying to let everybody through, and I think the 96 unfortunately didn't see that he was off the pace, and unfortunately the 96 tagged him, and that caused the 83 to just kind of slow her down, try and take it down to the apron as quick as he could, but I still drew the caution out. 96 not looking too worse for wear. Obviously, not what you want to have happen, hit somebody, but front nose looks pretty good. It's just a little bit of rear end damage. Just surprisingly, actually, the rear spoiler's a little crinkled in. But
bear with me here, guys. IRTVO now is going to have its fair share of issues. We're going to get it rolling as quickly as we can. I really hate that our product tonight isn't exactly what you might expect from Pit Stop TV, but we're working on it. We're doing our best, and hopefully it's all back to normal as soon as possible. Hopefully we can show what happened here. It's all pretty jumbled up. Alright, I think we can finally show what happens here for the 96. We're going to go to his onboard. This is Jared Bashan. Suddenly there's just a slow car, and he tries to dodge it, ends up tearing up the right front. I don't think it's going to be too heavy a damage to him. I think he'll do decently fine after that. The actual caution gets brought out by Joe PORSCHE trying to stop on the bottom of the racetrack and get out of the way. And, you know, iRacing just detected it through the caution. Currently, though, Gordon Larson Jr., your leader, staying out, I think, to get a bonus point. Might see him down the pit lane here in a moment. So, Brendan, after the tumultuous broadcast we've had so far tonight, again, got to apologize to everybody watching for the issues we've had, but, you know, sometimes things are just out of our control. But, Brendan, what would you say, you know, is the highlight so far tonight from Auto Club?
the highlights tonight, I can't really pin it on one driver, but really just got a big shout out to everybody newer to the league here. A lot of guys running towards up front. We see Brady Briggs up there in 5th right now. And we saw some other guys like Colon Tuono was up there for a while. Unfortunately, he got involved in a little bit of contact. Really good job from them. And overall tonight, you know, just a couple of cautions just besides the stage break there. One you can kind of call it at the stage break. But besides that, overall it's been a really good race tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight is certainly a step in the right direction, given a couple of races that we've seen so far this season, most namely, not even in this series, but on Sunday nights in the late models at some of these short tracks. That's normally where we have the issues, but pretty good races so far this season in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series, and nothing different. If anything, just a step further in the right direction. Currently watching Joseph Andujar lead the field to the green this time around. Kind of a different change in pace for that driver. Good to see him getting up to the front, and he'll get to call this restart.
And a little bit of disappointing news here for you guys. I want to probably make it aware here. Robbie Booker has taken the truck behind the wall into the hauler, and I think he's going to call it tonight.
We'll try and get to talk to him if iRacing holds for the next 10 to 15 laps under green. We'll try and get to talk to Robbie Buckner, considering I know there were some special viewers out in the chat. I believe it was KK and Mary out there watching, and hopefully you guys have stuck with us. Sorry that tonight couldn't be better in terms of the broadcast, but it's been good racing on the track, so hopefully we can showcase the rest of that as Joseph Andujar leads the field out of turn 4 in the number 13. And this could be an interesting restart. Halfway through the stage, just about, the 13 fires off before anyone else. Joseph Andujar is your leader here at Auto Club.
Yeah, and Andujar was the last one now since Gordon went ahead and pulled it in for tires, so he was the last one to stay out. You already seen that take effect here. He ran way high there. 18, big time loose right in front of the 59 there. Holding on to it though. Put him 3 wide there, Andujar.
Yeah, David Levine having to work around the 18 and the 13, trying to get ground on the bottom side. You're going to have to give that spot to Briggs. Joseph Andujar falling further back. Falone almost makes contact with Levine. Lindgren with Young, and they're somehow going to get through it, Brennan. These are these chaotic restarts at Auto Club that we've been talking about.
It definitely, so far, you know, really great run tonight, though, getting everybody sorted in. Really haven't seen anything right off of a restart. I'm going to knock on some wood. I hate to see it now, but so far a good run. Actually, almost in contact between the 9 and the 11 there. This time I think they hit a little bit. Able to keep her going, though.
And Blake Falone and the Pokemon number 11 definitely will not take no for an answer. Also will not take a door without giving one back. You definitely can count on him racing somebody back if they race him a little too hard. So I think he's going to let Aiden go there. It probably was just more of a racing deal. But if he feels wronged, he will definitely let the other driver know. Zach Lindgren, though, finally going to get on the camera for pretty much the first time all night. That number 85 now in his 6th position. This guy finally starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, elected to start way back in the field tonight. Up to 6th there, you know, points leader here, doing a good job of getting himself up in the top 10 for stage 2 here. Maybe see him working up and get a couple more positions for more stage points.
Yeah, really cool to see the 85 work his way through the field now, almost into the top 5. As you mentioned, started in the 29th position and has worked his way all the way through this field into 6th, looking for more. And that is your points leader, Zach Lindgren. So, yeah, really cool to see the 85 moving forward.
Right in front of them, Aiden Young and David Levine going to battle it out. The 18's going to get involved now as well.
David Levine trying to work the top side, trying to hold on to 4th position and maybe grab 3rd. If he defends that position, it's going to be defending it from Aiden Young. If he takes the next position, it would be taking it from Brady Briggs, a newcomer in his first start here in the series. David Levine going to go all the way down to the apron, looking for daylight underneath the 18.
Send it on underneath him there. Has him almost cleared a little bit of loose for him. Aiden's going to catch right up with him as well. The 18 not really going to be able to make very much off him as well. I think he got loose a little bit as well there. It's going to put the 85 in the picture now. We got a 4-truck battle now for for fourth.
David Levine, I think, will clear the 18 through turns 3 and 4. Brady
Loose for the
Briggs
18
going to
there,
fall into 4th spot now as David Levine moves into the top 3. Zach Lindgren looking to get a top 5 position. Here comes Jared Mogard, even Craig Lerman getting into the picture.
Heard Lerman, pretty good practice results for him there. I didn't really hear too much from him tonight either, though. I elected to start all the way in the back. He was the last truck to take the field. Mogard's going to work on the 85, though, as we come down the back stretch.
The big piece of confidence for Craig Lerman coming into tonight's race is these guys hold a practice race, at least for the big series drivers. It's a recruitment race for the rest of the drivers out in the field that sometimes come up in trucks like the 18 and the 61. That'd be Brady Briggs and Kelsey Rogers tonight, respectively. But Craig Lerman went and utilized that practice, just as most of the drivers in the series did. And Craig actually won that race. It was modeled just like this race, just without stages. So still 100 laps in the trucks at Auto Club in at least comparable conditions. And Craig Lerman ended up coming out on top. So you have to wonder if that spells good things for this 43 truck. We are on board with him now and going to get a look at this Coca-Cola Chevrolet.
Just ahead of him there, Aiden Young, David Levine battling it out, side by side.
That's
Jared
allowed
Mogard.
Brady Briggs to get back by the 59 and the 9 alike. Jared Mogard pulling some dicey moves. Zach Lindgren thought about it, thought better of it. Now here comes Jared Mogard. That 3 is looking really aggressive.
Yeah, he's got the momentum right now. David's going to send it on underneath her there. Almost wasn't quite clear of the 85. Mogard's going to get the pass, though. Going to start working on Aiden Young on the outside now.
So I'd forgotten to turn off the car audio decal, or not decal, but pop-up in the top right. And for a moment, you could see David Levine's name pop up. I think he might have been keying up, talking to possibly to Jared Mogard. Might not have liked some of what happened down on the other end of the racetrack as they come back to that end of the track now. These guys are starting to get a little more aggressive.
Yeah, David definitely is wanting to tell you how he feels, so definitely I think maybe a little bit of words exchanged there between the two of them.
Here comes Mogard to the inside of Young. He got his nose down there. He powered out of turn 2. Here comes Levine. Can't make anything happen. Now Lindgren to the bottom side of the 59. Then actually backs out. Lets Levine take charge here. Those guys are affiliated. Not teammates, but affiliated. They work together sometimes.
Block from the 3 there.
Trying to make something happen. Can't stick 3 and 4. Going to fall back.
Yeah, the 3 popped down right in front of the 59's lane there, made him back it out a little bit. You can see that's going to affect him big time here. Zach's on his inside there. The 43, Craig Lerman, not too far behind him.
Mogard almost got into the back of Briggs right there. Brady Briggs trying to hang on to 3rd spot. Kelsey Rogers, PJ Popham 1st and 2nd. But this is where all the action is. Jared Mogard trying to stay ahead of Aiden Young, trying to get by Brady Briggs, being rather aggressive while he does it, looking for daylight to the inside of the 3. He finds it, but can't get to his inside. Now he gets there, and he's going to try to make the pass out of 4.
Diving down here, has him just about cleared. Make the move there. We go into 1. Jared Mogard up to 3rd now.
And here comes Levine. Yeah, he's starting to come back and dig at the 18 truck a little bit. We saw him fall back just a moment ago, and he's getting back at it, holding Aiden Young off.
Getting a bump from Aiden Young there going down the back stretch. A little bit of damage to the rear end there for him. Not from that incident right there, though, I believe. 18, he looks like he's just on the brink of catching it loose there. Able to hold on to it, though. Levine right on his bumper. Dives down to the inside now.
Oh, contact! 59 into the
down,
18. Yeah. Is he going to hang on to it? What a save. Wow. Wow. What a save from Brady Briggs. That has to be one of the best that we'll see all season long.
Yeah, that easily could have been a caution there. I think they were just battling it out for the same real estate there, unfortunately. David really didn't want to move down anymore, and Brady wanted to come down off the wall a little bit.
If the 18 gets back to the front of the field, you have to wonder what will come of that. It's really too hard to tell. I don't really see any right side damage to Levine aside from a small dent in the right front fender, right where it says Goodyear above the tire. Now he's digging to the inside of Aiden Young. David Levine making moves, trying to bring Zach Lindgren with him. Here comes Craig Lerman, Zach Kreiser, Anthony Colantuono. A whole bunch of guys getting into this.
Yeah. Jared Mogart just ahead of them, though, is really taking his opportunity to kind of check out from these guys. He's going to go try and run down Kelsey Rogers and PJ Popham.
Meanwhile, action is picking up further back. Zach Lindgren trying to go on the offensive and the defensive here, trying to hold off Craig Lerman and Zachary Kreiser. Craig Lerman digging the bottom side, trying to use every inch of real estate down there. Can't make anything happen there. The 85 has the momentum out of turn number 2. We'll see if the 43 comes back into turn number 3. He's going to go to the bottom side. Not sure if he's going to try and make any moves. Zach Lindgren goes down there as well, making sure to cut off any air supply the 43 might have relied on right there to keep the nose planted. Oh, Levine in the wall.
Yep, just got a little bit tight coming off the corner there. Gonna navigate around him just fine here. A lot of positions back for him here. Let's see where the 18 is at, though. He may... And 18's right behind him now. See how this plays out.
If Brady Breeze can catch up to David Levine, you have to wonder how they'll race each other. Levine going to throw it to the inside of Washawn. Can't make anything happen. That was close. Washawn battling with Harmon here. This would be for the 11th position. Just outside the top 10. Blaine Fallone's slow on the top side. They'll work their way by him rather easily, but it's going to cut off a whole lane and a half of the racetrack.
Almost 4 wide there for a second as we just about still stayed 4 wide going into the corner.
Zachary Kreiser making a move on the 98 of Anthony Colantuono. Looking for the 7th position if Kreiser can get it. Kreiser, another one of the young guns, looking to have a good run here tonight, solidify himself in a good position both in the point standings and the power rankings. Heading to Martinsville next week. A big contrast. Zach Lindgren in the fence. He's going to come down in front of the 98. No contact, but that could have been close. Or it was close, could have been worse.
Again, another real good save coming off the wall there.
Oh, Levine got tight. He's going to wash almost into Trevor Harmon. Harmon's going to wash out to the wall. Washawn tries to work by Levine. Another big moment for the 59. Now Harmon's tied out of turn 4. He's going to wash up, get the fence. Now Harmon going to go all the way back a few more positions. Lose that spot to Brady Briggs in the 18. Terry Mason, Jeffrey Ford going to catch up to him. David Levine now into 11th position, just ahead of Jared Washawn. And I know a couple of guys were asking about the sponsor on the number 96. That is Yee Yee Energy Drinks. Really cool sponsor to see on that truck.
We're just about a couple laps, or a little over. That'll be 6 laps or so to go here on the stage, so starting to wind down stage 2 here.
Yeah, that's a great point as we now turn to the top 5 battle. Craig Lerman in 5th, looking for 4th on Aiden Young. Zachary Kreiser in 6th, looking for 5th or 4th, either on Craig Lerman or his teammate Aiden Young. Yeah, these guys now only 7 laps shy of the stage rank, which should come out at the completion of lap number 80 of 100. And yeah, I mean, that's going to shake a lot of things up. That forces the hands of these drivers to start pushing from here on if they haven't already been. And we can very well say they have been. That's been well apparent. But it's just going to make them push harder and harder, and these old tires might not support that kind of pushing, because points are at stake here. Aiden Young gets tied on a turn 4. Here comes Craig Lerman and his teammate Zachary Kreiser. They're working by their slower teammate of Sawyer Ott. So now Craig Lerman into 4th. Zachary Kreiser through to 5th. Aiden Young drops to 6th position. Craig Lerman on a charge right now. You have to wonder if he has something for these front 3.
Yeah, I definitely think he's got the truck there. It's just too little too late. Almost over a 2-second gap to Mogard. And then Mogard has a 2-second gap to Rogers pretty much. So I'm not going to get an opportunity this stage break unless something happens up ahead.
Well, I'm mostly wondering about the end of the race here, Brennan. I mean, that 43 is on a tear, and the last caution they had was about 20 laps ago now. So that's about the time that he's going to have to work with, a little bit less than that in this 3rd and final stage. Do you think he might have the truck?
Yeah, I definitely think he's got a possibility at it. He's really worked his way way up the field from 32nd. He's really just, you know, taking charge of that pack that's right behind him there. I think he probably has a really good shot once we get restacked here for the final stage.
Real quickly, as we get ready for the completion of stage number 2, let's look further back through the field. Jeffrey Ford trying to get by Trevor Harmon. Terry Mason has already done so. You see the 95 draft up to the 27. Give him a push down the front straightaway. Not the greatest idea. I can easily get that truck real loose and wreck one or both of those two. He's going to hit him in the corner. Jeffrey Ford really pushing that 27, just hit him in the corner on the exit of turn 2. They keep it going, though.
Yeah, with a tough break there, getting bumped out of the way a little bit. That's some more contact.
Oh, actually, I don't know if you just saw it, Brennan, but these guys are catching up to Sawyer Ott, and they had to really kind of squeeze into turn 3. Harmon's going to lose that spot to Jeffrey Ford now, as behind these two, we have David Heiza and Christopher Matthews vying for position, trying to deal with the 49 of Sawyer Ott. And even further back, Spence Thompson, we talked about him early in the race. I think he was caught up in one of those early wrecks, and he's got a ton of damage to the rear end of that number 89 Sovaga Chevrolet Silverado. Really sucks to see him so underpowered.
Definitely tough break for him tonight.
Back up to the front, though, PJ Popham, your leader, has been on a tear these last 2 weeks, was really fast last week at ISM Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. Formerly known as Phoenix International Raceway. But Kelsey Rogers, tell you what, Kelsey is on a partial schedule with Daniels Cardinale Incorporated, but this guy is just on the move right now, really showing why he deserves to be a part of this series. 2nd place.
Definitely. And for a guy that's not here full time, that's definitely, you can't ask for a better run right now out of him. Doing a great job.
You have to wonder just how poised this makes Kelsey Rogers heading into 2019. I know it's still super early in 2018, but you have to wonder, I mean, if he can put a ride together for 2019 full-time in this series, if he can contend for the championship next year, just based on these last few weeks he's had. He got caught up in a wreck last week, but he was running good up until then, and he was running good at Vegas as well.
Definitely so far, really like the prospects for him. Obviously, you know, a little bit of team affiliation between you and I here with him, but overall, you know, he's really shown that he's definitely got what it takes to be here, especially come 2019.
And the stage break comes out. Your stage winner going to be PJ Popham. Great run in stage number 2 from the number 1 truck. We'll flash up your stage results real quickly. PJ Popham again going to win stage number 2 as well as the bonus points it provides. Kelsey Rogers in 2nd, Jared Mogard in 3rd, Craig Lerman moves into 4th for that stage. Zachary Kreiser 5th, Aiden Young in 6th, Bradley Wilson in 7th, Zach Lindgren in 8th, Anthony Colantuono in 9th, and David Levine battles back for a top 10 spot by the end of stage number 2.
Definitely think there's a lot of trucks right now that are in a really good spot here for this last little sprint, and a lot of guys that really have showed they have the speed here, so this should be a great finish.
That it should, and we're going to take one quick commercial break, just 1 or 2 commercials here. We'll be right back with your stage number 2 winner, PJ Popham.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Auto Club Speedway. And we are ready to get PJ Popham in here. PJ Popham, do you have a copy?
10-4, Andrew.
Well, PJ, what a run in stage number 2 to get that number 1 truck into, well, I shouldn't say into victory lane. It's definitely too early for that, but you did win stage number 2. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good. It's truck feels good. After that, the penalty on the restart in stage 1 and having to do a pass through, feels good to be back up here. Truck feels good, so.
Yeah, you mentioned that penalty earlier on in the race, and I was wondering if we could get your side on things there on that restart.
Yeah, I had a spotter in my ear telling me I was clear low, and I was trying to get down to the bottom, and I came down too early, and changing lanes before the start-finish line gets you a pass through, so.
All right, just wanted to get your side of things. I mean, it's been a great race from you in that number 1 truck so far. Do you think you have what it takes to win this thing?
Yeah, truck feels good. We'll just see what we can do with this restart and see if we can't, bring this thing home in first place, keep these guys behind us, and enjoy the show.
And you've been racing here in the NMNTS for a few months now, if not better part of a year. I'm not exactly sure on how long it's been, but quite a while now. It's been a good amount of time. What I'm trying to get at is you could almost be considered one of the veterans here at this point. You've got a lot of races under your belt, and every week we get more new drivers, and you've got one of them on your tail. You've got some more back there. I mean, Zachary Kreiser's pretty new to the series, and there's so many more. Even Jared Mogard. How does that make you feel? You've been around a little bit longer than these guys, and they're really pressing you. I mean, you had a pretty good lead at the end of stage number 2, but they certainly were not out of mind just yet.
Absolutely. All these guys are fast. It doesn't matter if that's their first race here tonight or if they've been in for a year, 2 years, or 2 weeks. Aiden back there, he's a veteran too, man. He's fast. Kelsey's been, I've been able to get away from him on the restarts a little bit, and then he seems to just maintain, and Zachary's been fast all year. So hopefully we can just keep it up front, hopefully bring home a top 5 finish, if not the win, and move on to next week.
Sounds good, PJ. Before we let you go, I'll turn you over to Brennan if he has any questions for you.
Not really too much to add. This is a really good performance out of you though for that second stage. Really saw you really walk away. So hopefully we can see some more good action out of you here coming the last stage.
Thank you, Brandon.
Well, PJ, before we let you go, we'll ask you, is there anyone on that truck that you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, quick shout out to HRL for bringing me on board this year. Pit Stop TV for broadcasting the races. Coca-Cola, Old School Motorsports for sponsoring the truck this year, and Bradley Wilson for putting on the league. Ken Yance, John Barron for doing this. A lot of fun.
Sounds good. Well, best of luck to you. You guys have 15 more laps to go, and we'll see if you can hang that number one out there in first place for all 15 of those.
Thanks, guys.
And again, that was your stage number 2 winner, PJ Popham. We do have official word that the driver 2 is outside won stage number 1, so, yeah, I mean... how else can you say it other than a dominating performance from the current front row, Kelsey Rogers and PJ Popham? We'll see how they can close out the rest of this race, because they've got a couple of really good and really quick drivers right on their tailgates. Aiden Young, Zachary Kreiser, the 9 and the 39, even Jared Mogard, Bradley Wilson, Craig Lehrman, Jared Rashawn as PJ Popham gets ready for the restart. He's off and away. And Brennan, what a restart for the 1.
Yeah, good restart. Actually, catching up a little bit behind there for Jared Rashawn, a little bit of a rough start. Alan and Zach Lindgren way out high there. Nowhere else to go. There's 3 wide right now. Blake Flown right in tow.
As we're watching this battle develop, Blake Falone, Zachary Lindgren, David Levine all under a blanket. You can see Brady Briggs now. He's got some history from this race even with the 59 of David Levine. And there's even Terry Mason getting into this battle. Jared Rashawn, of course, at the start of this whole thing. You have to wonder if that 96 might be affected a little bit by the damage he got from the 83. But, man, almost contact from the 18 and the 59. And the 59 going to go all the way down to the basement. He was about in floor number 2, maybe 1.5, and went all the way down to the lower levels of the building there. And, man, what a couple of moves we've seen from him recently.
Yeah, how about parking garage 1 maybe or something? I don't know. That'd be a good one. But yeah, he's really, he wants up front, I can tell you that much. Actually, big bobble up ahead of him, letting somebody through.
And that's Sawyer Ott. That's going to be passed by these guys once more. You can see the field trying to work by him. I noticed Kelsey Rogers going in the wrong direction. What have you seen for the 61 truck?
I haven't really checked too much on him. I think that was just a bobble. Or lost the position there. Getting around the lap car, Sawyer Ott there. I can run back here real quick and see.
Well, actually, how about this battle with the 51 and the 3? You saw Bradley Wilson going this way and that, trying to find a hole around the 3 truck, and Jared Mogard was blocking every single run he had. Now Wilson going to fall a little bit off of the 3 of Mogard down the back straightaway. Going to try and mount another run, coming to 12 to go this time. It's go time, but you can certainly afford to use a couple of laps to set a guy up.
Yeah, I do want to mention there that 61 gave a bit of a door to the 3 trying to get through the lap traffic there. 3 kind of holding him up there though, so might be some interesting action coming up here as they're right behind each other.
And again, as we watch on from the onboard of Bradley Wilson, this guy hasn't really had the greatest season. He's been fast, has showed that he's had speed, but just hasn't really been able to close much out since the earlier couple of races at Atlanta, and just ever since having some issues in that 51.
Yeah, tough season for him. I forget the race was, but he had some connection issues. Actually, that was a Tuesday night race, excuse me. But overall, not really hitting things off to a really great start for him. But so far tonight, looks like he's rebounded it just outside the top 5 here.
Adian Lyles out in the chat asking if this is iRacing. It is definitely iRacing. You can see that in the bottom right of your screen. I don't think there will ever be a mobile version of the sim. That would be far, far too extensive on phones to make that work. But you never know. The company that owns iRacing might I think it's just iRacing, actually. But iRacing may sometime kind of do like 704 Games was done with NASCAR Heat in that franchise. Maybe make a different version simply for phones just to get something out there. I don't know. It's very unlikely, though, as David Levine tries to go to work on the 11 of Blake Falone.
Not quite the restart I think David was looking for there. Back down to 11th. He started that restart in 8th. Starting to work on the 11, though, as he mentioned. Go down the backstretch. Set himself up possibly for turn 3. Catch a little draft here. Blake's still starting to pull away a little bit.
And look who's starting to creep into the picture for the top 10. Terry Mason in the 75. Haven't talked about him at all, really. And he's starting to catch these two. If he was to get by both of these trucks, he would make it into the top 10 here. He's got 9 laps to make it happen. Further ahead, Zach Lindgren, Jared Wishon, a couple of young guns and a couple of fiery young guns at that, fighting here for 8th and 9th in the field. And these guys are friends on and off the track too. So we'll have to see how this battle carries out. Wishon gets the advantage into 3, but I think that top line might be doing Zach some favors. He's got the advantage coming out of the corners, but this time he's going to lose a ton of time, a ton of speed in turn number 4. Can't hold on.
Getting tight up there, and I think he backed out of it just to keep from hitting the wall there. Blake Falone now is going to try the inside, coming in turn 1. Terry Mason right behind him, working on the 59 of David Levine, though.
What a run so
Matthews.
far from Terry. Oh!
Contact for the 11 and the 59.
Levine into the wall, I think. And he's coming back down, scared to 27 and 13. Going to carry on, but some damage to the 59. Contact from Blake Falone going to put Levine in the fence, and I think that's going to end his run at possibly a win or even a good finish at that point. Or at this point, he's going to fall back to, I think, 17th or 18th position, 17th position behind David Heiza. Back up to the front. PJ Popham's still your leader, but the big thing I want to focus on is the battle for second, Devin.
Yeah, Kelsey Rogers, Zach Kreischer, and Aiden Young all going at it. Jared Mogard's starting to work his way in there. Getting settled in here, a little bit single file. Mogard's going to give maybe a little bump to the 61.
Can't do that. You can see the 61 almost got skewed sideways a little bit out of 4. You can't really give those bumpers in the corners, let alone down the straightaways. You can see the little bit of almost, I'm not sure if there was contact or not between the 9 and the 61, but you have to be careful of what you do here. From the front of one truck to the back of another, Jared Mogard caught these guys, and he's trying to find a way around him. I don't know if he's going to force it 3 wide, but I wouldn't count against it.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the 61 and the 3 had a little predicament catching the lapped car there, so I don't think the 61 is going to give him anything to work with here. Thought he pinched him up there just a little bit just to keep him behind Aiden. Kind of do it again, almost contact again between the 61 and the 9.
Yeah, for some reason, Aiden Young keeps flinching down the racetrack, and you can't do that when you have the car to your inside. I'm not sure what's going on there with the 9. He might just be loose, trying to correct it and coming down the track a little bit, but you have to be really careful, because if you come down even a couple of inches more than he already is, he's gonna cause a wreck.
Yeah. Here comes the move from Mogard. Down to the inside, not quite there yet. I think he's going to try and outbrake the 61. Or outlift, excuse me. They're quite breaking here.
Yeah. Almost contact out of 4. We're watching on from the onboard. There he puts him in the wall. Oh, man.
61 around. In the fence. Holy cow.
Oh, man.
Blake Falone, big contact. 61's
wow.
Going to flip all the way into pit lane almost.
Wow.
Got on the Armco right in front of pit lane.
Just push him in the wall. I think it's going to give the win to PJ Popham, but the concern is Kelsey Rogers. Just there's no other
there,
there's no way to say it other than he put him in the wall. He drove him to the fence.
That one,
and we try not to be biased in the booth, but just as a racer, to to just make contact with somebody so late in the race and just completely send them like he did. And send them is a little bit of slang. But it's the only way I can think of to try and put this into perspective. It's just wrong. It happens. Contact will happen. But just that late in the corner, you'd think the 3 is settled into the corner and shouldn't have issues. And then iRacing took over a little bit. That's why you saw the 61 get stuck in the fence and get thrown up into the air. And that really is what ruined his night, because he still could have kept going if that little bit of issue hadn't happened. But just incredible.
Yeah.
We'll watch from Craig Lerman's point of view here. Craig was running in the 7th position. Now, by virtue of this caution, we'll move into 6th. You'll see what happens out of 4. Just right in the fence.
What a run for that guy tonight. Tough to see him get ended right before it was over there, but great performance from Kelsey Rogers.
It was going to be one heck of a run for somebody that isn't even out here all season long. Just out here for, you know, the few races he can get so far. Now, obviously, deals are subject to change, but at least for now, with a partial schedule, trying to show that he deserves sponsors, he deserves a ride, to have that happen is really unfortunate, because a lot of guys sometimes, if they aren't able to watch the race, but they want to sponsor something, you know, they just look at the results. They might not have the time to go back and watch the race, and they might not have the time to go back and watch that Kelsey Rogers ran such a great race. Just the fact that now he's going to finish somewhere around 30th place, 25th maybe. And it doesn't matter who it is in that position. If it had been the other way around, Kelsey Rogers putting Jared Mogard in the wall, that would have been really unfortunate, considering Jared Mogard is trying to just battle in his way into a good position to try and make the hunt this year. He didn't even make the first 3 races of the season just due to the charter issues. And to make the race last week, to go out and just win that thing, led 100 and some laps of 150, had a great run. But it really sucks to see anybody just get walled like that out of turn 4 and their night's just immediately over. Luke Hoffert asking when exactly we stream and how often. Well, we have NMNTS races every week, Sunday through Tuesday. Obviously, coming into some of the hard grind of the season, there will be some off nights for the various 3 series in the NMNTS, but for the most part, constant from here to mid-November. We'll be every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday here on Pit Stop TV. You can also catch the Dirt Racing Challenge Series, now sponsored by Spencer Boyd, on Friday nights, and these guys will actually be at Lanier this week in the 360 Sprint cars, so you can catch that race later on, and we're also working on other deals. Now, of course, if you're looking to get your sponsor, or your business rather, out there to the world, just get it on the airwaves, on the internet, whatever you want to call it, you can obviously start with Pit Stop TV. We provide a pretty good base. You can get your logo out to as many people as we possibly can. We'll do everything we can to promote your business during races, outside of races, whatever it may be. If you help us out, we'll help you out. Basically, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours right back. Robbie Stone asking how to be a part of this. This is on iRacing.com, Motorsport Simulations. If you go to their website, you can find out more and more about it, even more than I would ever be able to tell you in a million years. But iRacing.com is the top publicly available motorsport simulator. Obviously, some teams might have their better simulators in their garages, but as far as publicly available simulators, iRacing is the cream of the crop. Make sure to sign up today. It is only on PC, though. Well, Brennan, just looking through the field, I don't think too many positions are going to change, so let's do a quick and early run through the standings here tonight at Auto Club. We still have to pace for one more lap, but not too many of these should change. Brennan, can you give us the top 10?
Alrighty, coming home with the win tonight will be PJ Popham. Second place will be Zachary Kreischer. Third tonight's going to be Aiden Young. Good run for him. Another one we mentioned, not really able to make all the shows tonight due to the charters. Fourth will be Jared Mogard. One, decent performance out of him. I hate to see what happened there, but overall, I think he kind of earned his way into the top 10. Definitely don't really think what happened there was quite all right. But Bradley Wilson will be fifth. Sixth is going to Craig Lerman. Seventh tonight will be Jared Rashawn. Eighth tonight will be Zachary Lindgren. Ninth going to Terry Mason. And rounding out the top 10 will be Christopher Matthews, bouncing back from early race woes there to still secure a top 10.
Moving on to 11th through 20th positions, we will have Blake Falone, the number 11, in 11th spot. Joseph Andujar in 12th, and the number 13, as PJ Popham does cross the line to officially win the World Down Syndrome Day 200 here from Auto Club Speedway. Congratulations to him on the race win. We'll get to talk to him in a few moments. Trevor Harmon, though, going to come home in the 13th position. David Heisa in 14th. Anthony Colantuono in 15th position in the 98. Good run from him. Could have been better at one point, but, racing happens, and I think really the same thing happened here with the 3 and the 61. Obviously, everyone's going to have their opinions on it, but you do have to just boil it back down to it's racing. They're all just trying their hardest at the end of a race, so you can't condemn him too much. But David Levine going to come home in his 16th spot. Jeffrey Ford in 17th. Spence Thompson 18th. Not the greatest night from him, but he battles back to a pretty decent spot. Brady Briggs in 19th and Blaine Falone in 20th.
Picking up 21st, our last guy on the lead lap tonight will be Gordon Larson Jr. Following him will be Sawyer Rod. Obviously, we saw him under the pace a lot of the race tonight, unfortunately. Kelsey Rogers will come home 23rd tonight, 4 laps down out of that. 24th will be Matthew Wilsenbach tonight. 25th will be Mark Broderick. Tough break for him. He was way up front for a while there. Clayton Kurtz didn't really hear too much from him tonight, 26th. 27th going to Ronald White. He was involved in an incident while we were away, unfortunately, that ended his night. 28th to Robbie Buckner. Tough break for him, Sorry to hear such a poor run from him tonight. I know this race meant a lot to him, but really good to get the message out, definitely, though, about Down syndrome awareness and all that. 29th going to Joe Pritchett. 30th will be John Kennedy. 31st going to Derek Robinson. 32nd will be Brandon Parsons.
And as PJ Popham celebrates his big win here in Auto Club, he's going to add his name to the growing list of NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series winners so far in 2018. It all kicked off with Mark Broderick at Daytona, now continued on to the number 85 of Zach Lindgren at Atlanta, followed by Mark Broderick again at Las Vegas. Then finally a new winner, Jared Mogard, last week at Phoenix, and now PJ Popham here at Auto Club. And as we try and coordinate interviews with your whole top 3, let's see, we're looking for PJ Popham, of course, your race winner. He will be the third of those drivers. We also have to get Aiden Young, Zachary Kreiser, a couple of teammates into the channel. We'll start off with Aiden Young. I just put him in the interview waiting booth. Brennan, whenever you're ready, go ahead and move him up.
Hey there, Aiden. It's Brennan up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, bud, after a bit of a rough start for the season, we come home in third tonight, so I'm sure you're probably pretty excited about that.
Yeah, just all in all, just a team effort here, just having a good car all night. Working way up from 20th, I'm really surprised that I got third, so we're here, we're going up to the points field.
You definitely need to hit on a little more here. Tough break so far for you the first beginning of the season, not being able to secure one of those charters. Really haven't seen you be able to race very much tonight, so really started to really show that you really have what it takes. It's just kind of the qualifying that a little bit lackluster from you. Overall, though, big ambitions for the season, you think, still?
Yeah, there's some big ambitions. Just I got a charter now. It's just get better finishes here and work on my qualifying all throughout the season. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Well, sorry, I lost train of thought there. Overall tonight, how do you think the race went overall? Obviously, last week a little bit of a caution field event there at the ice in Tudo. I don't know if you had an opportunity to catch it. This week went a lot better, I think, so far. What do you think about it?
And it went a lot better. All in all, just a good race. All these guys do a good job. Just my teammate did a good job finishing second. So just all in all, good team, good run for us.
Definitely, we'll get an opportunity to speak with him here in a minute. Other than that, though, any sponsors, anything like that you'd like to shout out tonight?
Just want to thank Zach, Matthew Walzenbach, Sawyer, Young Gun Creations, you guys for broadcasting, the whole NMNTS crew, and everyone that came out to watch.
Definitely. Well, bud, congrats again on third place tonight. Hopefully, we'll see some more top 10s and top 5s for you in the coming season.
Yep, hopefully. Thank you.
Have a good one.
And that was your third place finisher, Aiden Young. Now we'll get his teammate, Zach Kreiser, into the booth. Zachary Kreiser, this is Andrew Cardinale with Pit Stop TV. Do you have a copy?
10-4, how you guys doing?
Pretty good, but I imagine you're doing even better than us. I mean, that was just a heck of a run from you and that number 39 team, and really at least half of Jaeger Racing out there tonight. Tell us about your run.
Overall, I mean, it was good to finish second. It was kind of a frustrating race overall. Kind of was just had a fast truck, was just kind of stuck in traffic, and had some slow pit stops, but we made our way up, got to the top 5 there by the end of stage 2, and I knew if we can get up there, we might have a good shot at, at least getting the top 3. I didn't really have anything for the one truck tonight. He was kind of in his own little class there at the end, so that was a good win by him. But yeah, it was a good finish here for myself and Aiden. So at least we had 2 of the Jaeger trucks in the top 5 this evening.
Yeah, it was really a great run for you in that number 39. And, of course, Aiden in the number 9. I mean, you guys came home second, third. We talked to you, I believe, at Las Vegas with another great run in that number 39 truck. Does this run now kind of set the precedent for you guys over at Jaeger Racing? Pretty much the benchmark that you guys have to perform at?
Yeah, I mean, I knew coming into this season what we had. I mean, I'm new to this league, but I knew we had the talent here to definitely get these, get these top 5s, top 10s. It kind of seems like all season it's kind of half our trucks finish well, the other half, kind of have some bad luck and kind of getting caught in other people's messes. But I feel like our goal every week is to go out there, get a top 5, and we keep sniffing around the second or third place, one of these victories are going to fall in our lap.
Yeah, definitely. If you're there constantly, eventually something will go your way. Or, we saw last year, I'm not sure how much, how in tune you are with the happenings of 2017, but Terry Mason basically was just there. He was there all season long, was just in contention, never won a race, but ended up winning the championship on Sunday nights. Granted, that's a totally different championship format. You don't necessarily have to win a championship, so that, I think, spells good things for you and your team. Is there anyone that you want to thank on that number 39 truck?
Yeah, I'd just like to, again, just thank my teammates, Aiden, Sawyer, and Matt. Great teammates, couldn't ask for any better. Hope for Paul's, great organization there, and also Aiden Young and his Young Gun Creations making the sweet paint scheme this evening. Spec for sponsoring the series, and you guys for putting on a great broadcast. Thanks for having me up this evening.
Sounds good, man. Well, if you get more top 3s, we'll talk to you even more this season. Best of luck next week at Martinsville Speedway.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good evening.
And again, that was your second place finisher joining his teammate Aiden Young on the podium. Next up, we get to talk to PJ Popham. Brendan, I'll let you start off with him.
Ready? And last but not least, we have PJ Popham up here. You got a copy of this?
10-4, Brandon. I got you loud and clear, buddy.
Alrighty, well, looks like we will get to talk to you after that stage 2 victory there. So we get 2 out of the 3 stages tonight. Overall, a really dominating performance out of you. How'd that race go for you?
Man, I thought we threw it away at the beginning. that penalty changing lanes. We battled back. This old school Coca-Cola HRL #1 truck was real fast tonight, and man, this is awesome. This is my first win in this league. It's been a long time coming, and boy, does it feel good.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of off and on season for you so far. Obviously, to see it with the win tonight, it's really, really good to see. Outlook coming towards Martinsville and all that. How do you think the rest of the season is going to plan out for you?
Well, hopefully we can get a little more experience under our belt here. Get some good runs in and just make a push towards the end of the season. Maybe get another win or two along the way and just have some fun out here, man. This is a lot of fun. I can't tell you how much fun this is. Probably knock back a couple cold ones tonight, celebrating this one with the guys, and man, this is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure. Great way to celebrate a victory there as well. Other than that, though, I guess we can start to hit on next week at Martinsville. Like almost a polar opposite to here. Short track, a lot of battle in there. How do you think your truck's gonna do there?
Martinsville is it's hit or miss for me. It's a pretty tough track, actually. Trying to keep it clean, and with 32 of us running around there's going to be a lot of give and take, and just trying to keep clean and stay there till the end and have a shot. We got some good stuff under us, so if we can keep it clean, we should have a shot. Top 5, top 10, hopefully. So
definitely. Well, Andrew, you have anything you'd like to add?
PJ, just a great run from you this week. Last week, I believe you made the top 3 at the end of the race, so certainly moving in the right direction for that #1. And, I think you just have to keep it up going into Martinsville, one of the hardest places to keep any sort of momentum up. But you certainly are poised to do so. So best of luck to you next week at Martinsville Speedway.
Hey, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Brendan.
And that was PJ Popham, your race winner tonight from the Auto Club Speedway. Brennan, there were some moments tonight where we kind of had to sit back and kind of think about our next words, but at the same time, what a overall race. That was some great racing tonight from Auto Club.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good bounce back from last week, I have to say. Obviously, not quite going to plan, I think, for a lot of guys, and overall, some new faces out there, new faces that did really well, and PJ Popham, not really one I'd say going into this. I thought he would have won a race tonight. Definitely some other guys out there in the field I would have picked first, but overall, really good bounce back from last week and really good outcome. So definitely looking forward to next week and see what we can do there at Martinsville.
Yeah, and there's definitely some tempers now, I think, following Auto Club and even last night at Irwindale and, the previous few weeks, Phoenix, Las Vegas. But you know what? That's all going to just fester going into Martinsville Speedway, because if you think that we might have, expected a little bit of payback here tonight at Auto Club, it's only going to go through the roof next week at Martinsville, I can tell you that much. I'm really hoping for some awesome green flag racing, but anytime you go to Martinsville, it's tough to hope on that. You normally get, in a 500 lap race in the Cup Series at Martinsville, you might have 100, 150 laps of a lot of cautions stacked on top of each other. Then you might go green for the middle part of the race. What we're going to be lacking next week is that middle part of the race, because once you get to that 100, 150 lap mark, you're going to be into the back half of the race. Only a 250 lap event, whether you're in the Truck Series race, whether you're in the Cup Series race. Actually, I could be wrong. It might be 200 laps only in the Truck Series. So not as many laps to work with. It's going to be really interesting to see how these guys attack that place next week.
Definitely, especially with, a bit of the tempers. It's kind of placed itself pretty well on the season, in the schedule for letting stuff build up kind of. So it'll be interesting to see what we can get out of next week. I'm hoping personally for a lot of green flag action. Short tracks like that is really fun to watch. Everybody battle it out real close to each other. I think you guys definitely have it in them to do a good job. So hopefully we can see that coming next week.
Yeah, and another thing is, we could always expect some new faces at a short track like Martinsville or even Myrtle Beach and some others, considering, it's one of those places that it's not too hard to keep pace. It's hard to run fast. Cannot take anything away from that place, but it's not too hard to just run to pace with the field. So we might see some new faces rear their heads next week at Martinsville Speedway. It'll be interesting to see exactly who joins us. But for now, I think that should be a wrap on our coverage, actually. A pretty quick post-race little segment there, but it's been one heck of a night. We'll try and get the connection issues wrapped up before tomorrow night's event back here from Auto Club Speedway. This has been Brendan Elshoff and Andrew Cardinale in the Pit Stop TV booth. If you enjoyed what we put on, make sure to come back tomorrow night for 100 more laps from the Auto Club Speedway. Should be a lot of fun in the BA Graphics Cup Series.